Good morning. It is Thursday, the 7th of August. It's just coming up to 11 o'clock, about 1:45. So I've had a private job this morning. I've got back, jumped on charge for about an hour-ish, and I thought, well, I'll come out, I'll do a little bit of Uber and see if anything is going on during the day. I know it's probably not going to be, but I thought, well, I might as well. My next booking isn't until like 7:20 tonight, so I've got a bit of spare time during the day. So I'll come out, I'll see what it's like. I'm more than sure it's going to be crap, but you know, I'll try and be as positive as I can towards Uber. I'll stay out for at least 2 hours to give it like a little bit of an average over them 2 hours. But yeah, I'm not going to stay out all day, especially if it's crap. So first little rant. I like to have a little rant, as you know. So there's a lot of videos that you'll see online, whether it's YouTube or TikTok. TikTok seems to be the most, I'd say, the bigger lies, because they're shorter videos. So like probably 9 out of 10 videos I see are, now I know it's area dependent, but people come on and they say, oh, I come online at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm home by 10, I've done 200 quid, 300 quid and all this, making it all up. Now I'm just thinking, I'm laughing watching it because I know how much of a lie it is, but there's people who mightn't be a private hire driver who are thinking, oh, that's actually achievable. It's not. So I'll give you a little bit of an indication. So I took these screenshots, this was yesterday morning, so I had a Liverpool drop off at 2:30, I think it was about 2:30 in the morning. So I'm driving back now. For me to get back takes about 50 minutes thereabouts, probably a little bit less at that time. So I turned the Uber app on, so I thought, well, I'll see what's happening. Not that I had any intention whatsoever of doing any Uber work, but I just thought, well, I'll see what comes through, because I don't work. The only time I've ever been up and done Uber at that time is like a Saturday night when I've ran through and I've carried on working. But I tend not to do that anymore because you just get all the idiots at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, I'm down by the airport. First job pops up. Sorry, I was right by the queue. When it came online, it automatically added me to the airport queue. I think it said there was about 25 X's and about 10 or 15 XLs, which I've seen because as I drove around the corner, if you're local to there, you'll know where everybody parks. They all seem to congregate in this one same area for some reason. I don't know if there's any particular reason. I don't know if they all have a little chat or there doesn't seem to be much chatting going on, but they all seem to sit next to each other, and I don't know why that is, because it's different from Manchester Airport. At Manchester Airport, you have to go to the car park. There's like this little blue line where the airport queue is for the Uber drivers, but at Liverpool Airport, that line is basically the whole way around the airport, so you can park. You can't park right by the airport, as you know, because you'll get tickets. It's all like double red lines everywhere, but you can park anywhere. They don't have just a designated area that you have to go. So anyway, I don't know why they all park on top of each other. So anyway, came online, drove out to the airport queue. As I popped out of the airport queue, because I'd just gone over that blue line, the first job come up, which I think is the first share job that's been offered to me. So I'm down by the airport. It wants me to drive 9.5 miles to, I don't even know where that is. It's like, is that like Knowsley for Zackley sort of way? So it's 9.5 miles, and it then wants me to do 7.5 miles down to, it looks kind of like Seaforth way. So all in, you're looking at about 35 minutes, which was about a 17, yeah, about a 17-mile trip, £10.38, and it's a share. So some people might look at that and go, bear in mind, I look at it and I see it as, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So first off, the rate should be better. But then, how can people be claiming to coming out and making £30+ an hour at 3-4 o'clock in the morning when you're getting share jobs at £10.38, which is going to take you 35 minutes? Because then even if you got another one straight after that, you'd be lucky if you pulled 20 quid and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what's the point in that? So I laughed at that one. The one after that, it was offering, it wanted me to drive 15 minutes or 14 miles over to Runcorn. So you have to go over the bridge as well, for a 5-minute job or 1.7 miles. So all in, you're looking at about 15 miles for about 20 to 25 minutes work, £11.40. So again, Uber's trying to keep you at that £20 an hour mark, even with it being 3 o'clock in the morning. And some of these jobs are just horrendous. Like, a lot of these you would accept them and then the customer would cancel because they would think, I'm not waiting 20 minutes for an Uber to turn up. And then plus, if you pick that up, like I said, you're then driving over to Runcorn. So yeah, £11.40, wasn't going to entertain that. The next one that came up, it wanted me to drive 10.5 miles, again towards Liverpool. If I was to guess, I'd say that's kind of like Maghull kind of way, to do a 1.2 mile trip. So it looks like it was going to be, I don't know, just shy of a 20-minute job. I always include what Uber doesn't, which is when you pull up, you can wait 2 or 3 minutes for the passengers to come out, and then obviously, you know, it takes them like 20 seconds to jump out or something. So I'll add that on, because Uber sells this job here as 12 minutes to pick up, 4 minutes to drop off, as though that's a 16-minute job. And as you know, it's not, because you pull up, you're sitting there, you get a message, I'll be out in a minute, mate, and you're like, why book me if you're not ready? So yeah, always add on a bit of time. So that job is, I'd say, best part of 20 minutes, and it is 11, not far off 12 miles, and they're offering £5.46. And at this point it's 3:10 in the morning. So I was just having a little chuckle as I was driving down the motorway, the 57, heading home. Next one that came up, exclusive to me, this one was 6 minutes away, 3.5 miles. It was going 10 miles towards the city centre. Sorry, 10 minutes towards the city centre, which was 3 miles. So all in, about a 20-minute job again. You're looking at 6.5 miles, £7.22. That was exclusive to me. Another one that was exclusive to me, I don't know why all these were exclusive, I don't know if I was the only idiot driver that was logged on at 3:10 in the morning. This one was 4 minutes away, or 3 miles, going 4 minutes, 1.5 miles. So all in, you're looking at least 10 minutes, if not a little bit more. But this one is 3, 4, it's about 4.5 miles. And they're offering me £3.59. And this is 12 minutes past 3 in the morning, so I'm still on the 57. Next one that came up, still on the 57. This one was 7.1 miles away. This is down in, it's kind of like Crosby way, so it's 11 minutes to get there. It's a 5-minute job. So again, you're looking at about a 20-minute job. The drop off is only 1.5 miles, so again it's about 8, 9, so you're looking at about 20-minute job, 9 miles, 3:15 in the morning, £4.49. Just absolutely ridiculous. So then I'm still on the motorway. They then offered me a job which is no idea what that is, but they wanted me to drive 11 minutes back the way I've just come. This is a multi-stop as well, which was 5.5 miles away. It was an 8-minute job for 1.3 miles. So all in, you're looking at about 25 minutes, and it is a 7-mile job, and they're offering £7.43. It's just 17 minutes past 3. Now on to 19 minutes past 3. This is when I logged off, because this was like the icing on the cake, this one. So I'm now on the 58. I'm by Maghull services. Bear in mind, I've come from Liverpool Airport. An XL job comes up, Liverpool Airport. Now I'm thinking, I've just been there some 15 minutes ago, something like that, and there was at least 15 XL drivers there. So why are they offering me this job? Why aren't the XL drivers being offered it? Is it because it's Uber? Is it because all the other XL drivers have declined this job because it's so crap, or they're getting a different rate? No idea. So at this point, this is exclusive to me as well. I'm now 20 miles away from Liverpool Airport, which is 25 minutes. And the job is a 15-minute job, 16 minutes, going 5.5 miles. So all in, you're looking at 30, 40, you're looking at least 45. It's a pickup from the airport as well, so it might be a little bit longer. You might get in there and, oh, where are you? I can't find you. And, oh, I'm just waiting for me cases, but they've booked an Uber. So could be 45, could be 50 minutes, who knows. And you're looking at almost 26 miles. and it's an XL, and it's 20 past 3 in the morning, what do you think they've offered me? It's £15 and 4 pence, which is basically going to take you, like I said, best part of an hour, and it's 26 miles, and it's an XL, and it's 20 past 3 in the morning. It's just, I just couldn't believe it. I was looking at it thinking, like, if none of the 15 Uber XL drivers that were at the airport wanted this job, what in Uber's mind do they think? I know, let's offer this job exclusively to Paul, even though he's 20 miles away. You know, if that job would have popped up and they said, yo, we'll give you 50, 60 quid for it, then you'd think, well, go on then, I'll turn around, I'll shoot down and do it, because, you know, it's going to take me less than an hour to do it. It's worth doing it. Who's going to take 15 quid to do that job? Do you know what I mean? It's just, I wouldn't do that job if it was in the daytime, let alone 20 past 3 in the morning. Honest to God. So yeah, if you're one of them drivers that you're putting these little stupid posts online, and these are, when I say little stupid posts, no one's put an actual like YouTube video giving a full breakdown account of what jobs they've accepted, how many hours they've worked and all that. They just pop up and say, oh yeah, I come out and I'll work 3, I'm home before midday, you know, I've done 2, I've done 300 quid, easy Uber and all this, see you on next video. And you're thinking, well, that's a lie. It's not far off now. Tomorrow I would have been signed up to Uber for exactly a year. So I was going to do a little bit of a video of a bit of a like a full breakdown of what to expect and what you can actually earn and what you can't earn. So yeah, that was basically it. I can't see that working those type of hours are any good. A lot of people watch my videos and say, well, you know, you tend to come out in the dead hours, Paul, during the week, and that's why the earnings are crap. I know, like I'm not blaming Uber, because at the end of the day, if no one's moving about, then it's not Uber's fault. They can only offer jobs out if somebody needs moving. But what I do blame Uber for is the fact that when they do offer you a job like that one there, it's ridiculous. It's £15 and 4 pence, you know. And then even if you turn around to defend Uber and said, yeah, but Uber's probably only offering the customer like 20 quid, that's Uber's fault. You know, Uber should be turning around saying, look, it's 20 past 3 in the morning, you want an XL job from the airport, you need to pay like 50 quid for that job, and then we're going to pay the driver like 40 quid. We'll take our slice, so we're happy, they're happy, and, you know, surely the customer should be happy. Like, what kind of idiot have you got to be to just rock out the airport at 20 past 3 in the morning and think, I need an XL vehicle? And, you know, you have to bear in mind that if people are booking an XL, what I find 9 times out of 10, it's not because they've got 6 passengers, it's because they've got luggage with them. I had a woman the other day, it was an XL, it was just her, but she had like, you seen on the other video, she had like a washing basket, a bin bag, and like this big box, because she was moving house. And I don't mind because I've got a big massive boot, but I wouldn't facilitate like a house move, something like that. So that's when people will tend to book XLs, because they've got like a bit of luggage, or there's 4 people and they want a bit of space. But so these people, there might only be 3 or 4 passengers, but they know they're going to have like 4 or 5 suitcases. A lot of jobs, a lot of private jobs I will do will be mainly between like 2 and 4 passengers, but they have like at least 4 suitcases, so it's 1 each. They'll have a carry-on each, they'll have a double pram. So if you book an XL, one's going to turn up, that's not going to fit. So then the driver's going to have to cancel the job, get like 3 quid for it, and then go and join the airport queue again. So I know there are other people that do have, you know, like Mercedes and Vitos and stuff that are actual XLs, but probably 80% of them, they're not. They're all just like little tiny like emergency chairs ones. So these people who book XLs thinking, I'm going to fit all of my luggage in, I just don't know why they do it. It's crazy. And I have the same kind of conversation with a lot of people. Private jobs, I'll take them, and it might just be like 4 people, and I'll say to them, you know, like, oh, how did you find me? Was it Instagram? I have a little bit of a chat with them, and I'm like, so why is it you tend to book, you know, private airport transfers? Why don't you use Uber? I'm like, it's the same thing that comes up all the time. They say, like, are you joking? Like, it's impossible to book one first thing, and then if you do book one, you don't know what's going to turn up, you know, and it's all kind of complaints. So I'd say the majority of people book it because they know what they're getting, they know who the driver is, they know the luggage is going to fit. But yeah, you have these people, these chances that will just book an XL. So I think I just don't agree with it all around. I think when it comes up and it says XL, I think they should change it. So basically it says 6 people, this carries 6 passengers. They should have a separate category for, you know, I don't know, going to the airport, additional luggage, something like that, and then they have another category for people who fall into that, and then that's obviously different. It stops all that, the arguing of people turning up. Like I said, if they book it and like a Safira turns up, I've had customers in the past where it was just a girls' night out, and it was 6 of them. They got in, they were like, oh yeah, this is great. And then they were like, oh, I put a complaint in the other week because we booked one, and this little Safira turned up, and he folds down these 2 emergency chairs in the back, and they were just refusing. They said, I'm not getting in there. They're not seats. That's the boot. I'm not sitting in the boot. So they had to put a complaint into Uber. So yeah, I think that's obviously like an Uber issue, but at the end of the day, Uber don't care, do they? They're just in it to make the money. So that was it. Basically, I can't see based off them rates there, and that was just like a short little snapshot of like 20 minutes as I was driving down the motorway, and they were what, 6, 7, 8 jobs that came through, and those jobs, if you took them, you just running ragged at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the rates are crap. But each to their own. So I know some people might prefer just working nights, and that's fine. You know, if that's your cup of tea. But for me, I don't know if I'm basing it on back in the day. Back in the day, if you got a taxi, you know, it was like £1.50, or it was like double rate or something. So you knew it was going to be more expensive, and you just accepted that because, well, it should be, because people are coming out and working really unsociable hours, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Coming back from town, you get in the Hackney, used to be like £3 as soon as your arse touches the seat. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going home, mate. You get home and it's 20, 30 quid. Whereas these days now, because Uber have ran the price down so much, people look at it and they're like, oh, can I look at the kip of this? It's cost me 15 quid to get home, and I'm like, £15 to get home. You know, and they've driven like 20 minutes, and it's just like, yeah, so they've basically destroyed the industry as far as I can see. The only way excuse me, I've still got tonsillitis, by the way, and I feel like crap just in case. The only way Uber is possibly going to redeem, or anything's going to change as far as I can see, is if this cross-border hiring comes to an end, which I think it might be on the cards, to be honest, because of all the stuff that's happening. But if it does, the way I see it is, because there's so many drivers that have like Wolverhampton plates and things like that, obviously they'll all be kicked out. Now I know a lot of them will obviously just go get rebadged and replated, and then they'll be back in this area again. But a lot of people will probably leave the trade because of that. And then on the other side of that is, even if you just go and get a badge now, you know, you can wait 6 to 12 months depending on your local council. So imagine if the cross-border hiring come into effect. Granted, they wouldn't flick a switch and do it overnight. They'd probably say, look, right, over the next 12 months, this is what's going to be phased in. So then all of those people would then all run to their local councils and say, right, I need to change my badge. So then that 6 to 12 months waiting list is going to be like 12 to 24 months, because they're going to have to try and process so many applications. So I think there will be a spell where it'll be busier for a short period while there's that transition. And then obviously it'll come back down again. But I still think it'll be slightly better than what it is now. It's not going to be massively better. It's not going to be like double the rates that you know. But it will get rid of a lot of people. And that's about it. So the last little one, the funny one, is I got a text message this morning from my local licensing authority saying, according to our records, your motor insurance for your vehicle expired on the 31st of July, and we have not received your new policy. You must email us a copy of your insurance policy by 4 o'clock today, or your vehicle licence may be suspended. So bearing in mind it's now the 7th, so basically they've left what they would think a potentially uninsured vehicle to run round with their plate on it for 7 days. So I think that's a bit daft of the council. Secondly, I went down before that happened and had my vehicle replated. I had to go and have a new MOT. I had to provide them all the documents. That was their opportunity to say, look, we've already asked you for a million other pieces of documents. You've had to come down to have your vehicle examined by us. You would think at that point they would say, by the way, you need to supply us a valid insurance. But they haven't. So it's just, it just seems to be no one. There's no like real set criteria. Like the next thing they've asked me to submit is like a license plate check, which I think is next year or something. So I've emailed that over anyway to them, saying here's the insurance. I don't know why you didn't ask it for me last week whilst I was there. I think it's a little bit daft, to be honest. And that's about it. So that's my first little rant of the morning. It's now coming up to 11:10. I need to go to the post office, sort all these parcels out for the wife. So yeah, I'll probably be coming online in about another 10-15 minutes, and then I'll give you a little update, let you know how the first hour's got on. So 2-hour update, and it's crap, just like I said. So to be fair, I did say, I'll try and be as optimistic as possible, and I'll stay out for about 2 hours, see what I make, and then basically I'll judge it from there if it's worth staying out or not. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown as to what I've been up to. I'll just go offline. Not that I'm expecting a load of jobs to come flying through or anything. Where are we? So I took a screenshot. First job did come up, which it didn't do, being honest. So I actually came online at 16 minutes past 11, so I've been on for 2 hours and 15. It was an XL job. It wanted me to go 20 minutes or 9 miles over to Skelmersdale to do a 12-minute job, which was 5.2 miles. So you're probably looking at least a 35-minute job, and it was 14.5 miles. An XL exclusive to me, £11.93. And that's going from Skem to Wigan. I thought, I don't want to be in the middle of Wigan, couldn't be bothered. So I left it. So the first job that came up that I actually took was where I was at, which was Burscough. So a little Burscough to Burscough, £5.56. It was a 5-minute job going 1.6 miles. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, I know it's a tiny job, but like I said, I was there. I then drove from there into Ormskirk. There was nothing happening. Ormskirk is quite a quiet little town anyway. It's quite a smallish town. And a lot of its population is built up of students because of the university. Obviously, it's the summer holidays, so the majority of them, if they haven't stayed in the accommodation that they've bought in and around town, they've obviously gone home for the summer holidays. So it was just really quiet. So I thought, I'll head towards Southport because it's the summer holidays. There's a lot more restaurants up there. It's a seaside town. There's like cinemas, things like that. And I remember last year I was getting quite a few different like XL jobs back and forth in and around Southport. Like I said, because it's the summer holidays. So I drove up there. So that first job took me from 20 past 11 until 25 past. My next job was 35 minutes later. So it was 2 minutes past 12. And that was in Southport. Southport to Southport, £3.95. It was a 4-minute job going 1.4 miles. So effectively, I've then worked that. Well, it was an 8-minute job, so that took me to like 10 past. So I've basically worked 45 minutes for that £3.95 then. It was then at 12:15, so technically that was my first hour, wasn't it? Yeah, because I took that first job. How long was that first one? Sorry, 10. Borderline, it's right on the cusp there. Anyway, it's £5.91. It was a 10-minute job, Southport to Southport, going 2.6 miles. So I thought, well, now I'm up here, there might be a couple of little smallish jobs happening. But like I said, I'd waited like 5 minutes for that job. I dropped them off, I hung around, waited another, I think it was about 10 minutes for the job. Absolutely nothing come through whatsoever. And then this one came through, which was Southport back to Ormskirk again. Someone going on a works do. £11.36. It was a 28-minute job going 9.4 miles. But then again, I thought I wasn't so much looking at the mileage. I was seeing it as, well, if it's going to take me about half an hour, it's 11.30. If I get another one of them, I might be on like £22-23 for the hour, which still isn't the greatest, but for the dead hours in a weekday, it's not too bad for what Uber's offering anyway. Not too bad in general. So I took that. I dropped her off for pretty much bang on 1 o'clock. It's now turned 1:30. So in the past half an hour, I was offered one job, and that was all the way back. Did I not take a screenshot of it? I don't think I did, it was that crap. It was all the way back in Southport, would you believe? I don't know why they're offering it to me, surely there's drivers in Southport. You know, so bearing in mind it's like 10 miles. They want me to drive basically 10 miles back to Southport to do like this little like £6 job or whatever it was. So obviously I didn't do that. So yeah, based on them past 2 hours, technically it's just over 2 hours, so I have given them the benefit of the doubt. I've done £26.78. So that's coming out at £13.39 an hour. So like I said in the past, if you take off like roughly £3 an hour for your running costs, I'm down to £10.34 gross. And then you minus off what your tax is, depending on what tax bracket you're in. But if you do it off what, the most common is 20%. People tend to do 25 because that then accounts for your national insurance as well. So if I take 25% off that, I've netted £7.79 an hour. It's just ridiculous. It's like, if I'm being honest, I don't even know what the national minimum wage is, because like I said, I've been doing my own thing now for over 15 years, so I don't even know what it is. Let me have a quick Google of it. National minimum wage. So it is £12.21. So yeah, even before I've taken the tax off, it was less than minimum wage, because it was £10.39. So that minimum wage is basically for like 18 to 20 year olds. That's £10 an hour. But for 21 and over, it's £12.21. So yeah, can you work Uber during the day and make money? Yeah, you can make money, you can come out and you'll get jobs. Is it sustainable? No, because you're making less than minimum wage. Like, you could literally go and get a job in this little cafe across the road here, and even that would be minimum wage, so that would pay me more than Uber, and you wouldn't have to be driving around looking for jobs and thinking, oh, if I don't get any jobs in this hour, I've made nothing. And at least you're going to go there and you're guaranteed at least minimum wage. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Uber's it's just ridiculous, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to come out and to make good money, because like I said, I've been doing Uber almost a year. It's a year tomorrow, so I know what to expect. But it was just more of a case of there's just so many like little people out there and videos and comments of people saying, yeah, you can come out, it's it's well easy and it's this and it's that. So I thought I'd dip my toe in it for 2 hours, see if anything was happening today, to see if there's some holidays picked up or not. But it's not, it's totally dead. That a customer I picked up in Southport, she was only going out to Costa Coffee to see a mate, and she said, oh, is it quiet today? I was like, yeah, it's really quiet. Why'd you ask? She said, oh, I came out yesterday. She said it was dead. She said I went into the town centre, everywhere was dead. She said, so like, I don't know what everybody's doing. Not everybody can be abroad. And that was about it. It's just crap. It's just really dead. And I don't mind coming out, even if it's a little bit quiet. At least if you're hitting on Uber, you've got to be hitting at least £20 an hour for it to be, even making above minimum wage, and to be making a little bit, to make it worthwhile. But yeah, when you're coming out and you're making less than minimum wage, it's like, what's the point? Literally, what is the point? Because I earn personally, I feel bad for other people who don't have other sources of income, but I've earned more than that from my other jobs, even though I haven't even turned up. Do you know what I mean? So I can sit at home and make more money than that. But I'm coming out thinking, I'm a bit of a grafter. That's why I'm self-employed and I've ran my own businesses, and that's what I've done, for a third of my life. So I don't mind doing it. But I just can't come out and work for less than minimum wage. It's slave labour, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's nothing short of, it's going to be on the news soon, isn't it? With these type of videos, and Uber's being dragged through the courts because people are being paid less than minimum wage. I don't know how to get away with it, to be honest. So yeah, obviously I'm going home after this, if you haven't picked up on that, because it's completely pointless. And that's about it. If I've still got the little clip, just as I was coming down this last little country lane then, and nearly got taken out by a head-on with an Arctic. There's a tractor driving down with a trailer, still doing like 20 odd mile an hour, but an Arctic has thought, I'm going to overtake on this stretch of road that I can't see around the corner. So yeah, I've had to slam on, the Arctic's had to slam on and then tuck in, and then the Arctic driver's waving to me to apologise, because he knows what he's done. So yeah, if that's on there, I'll stick that on there. But that's probably the most interesting thing that's happened on the shift, i.e. I was nearly taken out by an Arctic. So yeah, thanks for watching. I know it's only a short video, but there's nothing I can do about it. Blame Uber, not me. And I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm going to come out tomorrow. Got a private job first thing in the morning. I'll do that, and then I'll try and do a bit of like an Uber shift, but I just honestly don't know. Fridays have been crap anyway for the past couple of months now, and I'm talking about going into towards like the afternoon / evenings. So the fact that it's quiet today, it's probably just going to be just as bad tomorrow, to be honest. But yeah, I'll come out, I'll see what's happening. I'll do a bit of a longer shift, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's video. Yeah, but if you've been out, let me know what you've managed to to achieve today, and if you've managed to pull in more than minimum wage at least. So I'll catch you tomorrow.